you very much, everybody. I'd like to start this off just by asking a little bit, Angelina, about how you first found Luong's memoir and her story, and then maybe if each of you could talk a little bit about the process of working together. It feels like a very collaborative effort for Cambodia, as you mentioned in your intro.
Well, thank you all so much. I first went to Cambodia about 16 years ago for a film, and I was the Tomb Raider. It was the first film back after the war, and I felt very ignorant because I knew nothing about the war, and I went to the country thinking I was going to meet a very angry, very broken people, and I was so taken by how resilient and proud and beautiful the people were in the country was. And one day I went for a walk by myself, and I went to a little by the side of the street bookstore, and I bought a $2 book called First They Killed My Father. And I sat and I read it, and it changed my view, and it taught me. And months later I was working on landmines and wanting to go back to Cambodia, and I was put in touch with the author, and then we decided we would meet in Battambang. And so I met her, and it changed my life. And the first night we were together, I think it was a monsoon, and I said, I told her I was considering adopting, and would she be offended or would she be supportive, and how did she feel? And thank God she was supportive, and it changed my life, and she's been in my life, my son's life forever, but she's taught me so much, and so I'm very grateful to be able to share her story.
So this is a love fest in Toronto, and so glad to be here at TIFF. And Angie and I have been friends for 16, 17 years, and she is somebody, her family and her kids, and Angie have been somebody near and dear to my heart. And when people ask me, how does it feel to work and to hand the book off to somebody to make a film, my answer is, this isn't just anybody. This is somebody I trust. This is somebody I love. This is somebody who has a great heart and who is a great mother, and who also has a relationship with Cambodia beyond me, to having a son who is from Cambodia, Maddox, who also worked on the film, and also has a relationship with Cambodia, with the center in Cambodia that does so many good things in the country, and also has a great relationship with the world for all the stuff she does. So I'm very, very grateful to have the opportunity to collaborate on this. And this is my brother, my soul brother, Rithi, whose work taught me so much about film in Cambodia. I'm a reader. I read and read and read and read, and what I couldn't get from books, I got from Rithi's work about Cambodia, from the rice people to the missing picture to pretty much I watched all of your films, and I grew up admiring Rithi and respecting his work. And when the opportunity for us to all collaborate on this, it was these two are my dream team, and I'm living my dream right now.
Woo! As you can hear, how can I refuse to not to work with them? I'm not crazy at all. Two beautiful women, beautiful person. So I have to do. So I think that first the project is very, very strong project. It's from the point of view of the child, like as you can see, and cinematographically it's very strong. I have never seen something like this, and the point that touched me very much that Angelina is a very humble person, and she come to make the film with us, not about us. That is the great point for me. And you know, how I do to work with some people, big people, but it's very difficult. But Angie is so natural, spiritual, and it's go with us, because we make a film about the death, about the people who leave us, but we still hear that. I don't tell it like a duty, but that there is something we have to do for them, tribute that because we are not here because we are strong or we are much more clever than other people. We are here because those people help us to be here today. And this film, your film, and is like something that, like a bridge that between the new next generation and those people. We are just a bridge, and I hope that the film can be like a process of healing, of now the film belongs to you. You can speak about it, you can talk about it, we can exchange ideas around the film, and it's a great, very, very big gift that Angelina and Luong give to us.
You touched on something that really struck me when I watched the film, which is that in this film and in your previous works as a filmmaker, you're not afraid to shy away from the horrors of war. But you balance that with such beautiful moments of life in the film. And I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the decisions just, in achieving that tonal balance.
Well, we all decided, as Rithi said, this film is not, it is paying respect to those who were lost, and it is, this country is more than a war. This is a beautiful country, and it was very important to me that if you were to take anything away from tonight, you would feel differently about Cambodian people and Cambodian families, and you might smile when you think about them, and you might identify with Pa, and you might love Ma, and you might feel as connected to this little girl, and think about all the little girls around the world today that are suffering the same fate. And I think that, for us, that this is why it's so precious. The film is about family. It's just family. And it's what would your family go through? What would you do for your family to get through this? And what is the loss? The loss is those that you love and those that you remember, and those who live on with, and you carry those you lost with you, and we pay respect to that, and you do so much with your life to carry forward, and love you for that. And so that's how. So we have to show the horrors, but it's not about the horrors. And I think also because it was the perspective of a child, if you noticed maybe that the point of view matures. When she's 5, we had to watch the little actress and figure out what is she going to look at, and you couldn't really plan it. And you'd think, okay, we're going to look at this. But then she'd come on set and she'd start staring at that over there. And you realize, the 5-year-old is quite distracted. The mind doesn't, what she's focused on, what she absorbs, and she looks away from horror because she's too young. As she grows, she starts to absorb more and notice more. And by the end, she's able to calculate herself through the river and through the minefield. And that POV matures and changes, and it becomes more graphic because she's ready to accept it. So that was how we shot it, and that was the thought behind it.
I'm glad you mentioned her, the actress, Shrey Mok, I believe. I'm wondering, she gives such an incredible performance that's so expressive. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you found her and what it was like to work with her, but also all of the children in the film. I think there was so many scenes where you're directing a lot of them in very chaotic environments.
Well, I mean, it goes without saying they're actually extremely talented children. They're very clever, very smart, very loving, and we were able to explain to them what the scenes were about. And there was even many beautiful moments where we would say to Sreimot, this is a scene where Luong has had to say goodbye to her sister. And Sreimot would actually become emotional, and we'd say, what are you thinking? Are you okay? And she'd say, I'm so sad for Bang Luong, that she had to say goodbye to her sister, and it made her sad. So it was that close and that personal, and they understood the story they were telling, and they were very generous, but really in truth she surprised me. They all surprised us. I think we would talk about it all the time, just where they came from.
In fact, there's too long every day.
They what?
Too long every day.
Too long, yes.
One small and big.
Small and a big one, anyway.
Luong, what was that like for you to work with her, and did you collaborate with her and talk with her through the material? Or?
No, she's so feisty and spunky, and we immediately love each other, and then we grew to have a great amount of respect for each other. You know, she's so imaginative, and she's so talented, and it's amazing that she has a stillness about her, that as a child survivor of war, of genocide, I've never really felt. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I could just stand still. Even up here, I feel the need to sway a little. You know,
You're doing very well.
You know, I'm trying to stay still. And it goes to show you when a child is loved, is secure, is protected, and is able to grow up to be the person she wants to be, that she possesses a stillness about her that allows her intensity and her power to come across. And that, for me, was very healing, to see that, to be able to see that, and to know that I can claim that as an adult as well. That I don't have to worry about what I lost as a child, but I can see through her performance and who she is, that we can all reclaim what we lost as children. So for me, that was actually surprisingly cathartic and healing. That's something she taught me, and it wasn't something I went into thinking that I would learn. An amazing thing about kids is that they know the essence and the truth of what was really going on. They may not understand all of the logistics and the politics, but they know the truth when they saw it. And she definitely does, and do know that.
Ruthie, when you were speaking earlier, you mentioned the beautiful cinematography in the film, and I think it is absolutely stunning and definitely struck me when watching it. And I'm wondering, Angelina, if you could talk a little bit about the visual style and the cinematography of Anthony Dogmantle.
Well, it was, as we spoke of before, we all had a real understanding that this was not to be this is supposed to be a beautiful film that was appealing to people. We wanted to show the beauty of the children, the country, and anything we could find that was beautiful through the horror, because that's also what people pull to and look for in the midst of horror. But also, of course, the POV, the Steadicam, the trying to understand that. We had head cameras. We did some crazy things out there to try to figure out what a child sees and how they experience things. And some things worked, some things went completely wrong, but we tried everything. We also focused with the drone cameras as much as we could, because in Cambodia, when I had done Unbroken, for example, you have a prison camp. Many of the films I've done actually have prison camp. And you learn quickly during this war, the country was a prison. There were no walls anywhere. It was just everywhere. And so the scope and the scale and the country itself was a character. The rice fields are a character, the scale of the people moving, the emptiness, the streets. So we focused a lot on the drone camera work to be able to capture that as well.